right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Good.
Go ahead and test your mics. Let's have a cheer.
Ooh,
Hey.
Woo!
Woo.
it's a
All
sunny
right.
day.
No, it's a great day. The weather's changing. It's looking really good. Let's look at our social media today. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, National Pet Day.
Cute. I love that.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. You can cut and paste it right here, put it on your social media, let your clients remind them that it's National Pet Day, I think tomorrow. And let them see the cat, and they'll remember you for that. Yeah.
There
And
you
that
go.
rhymed.
Every now and then.
Cat, you should write that down.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true.
Yep. All right, great. So my message today is very simple. I wanted to share a few thoughts that are designed to keep this, to keep your mindset a little stronger, keep you a little bit more positive, because we're still in some unusual times. I wish I could say the unusual times are going to end on a certain date, but the truth is we don't know the answer to that. So we just have to work each day at keeping ourselves positive and strong, keeping the activities that we bring transactions to us in motion at all times. So to really just keep moving through this, and it's going to be a great second quarter. It's been a very good first quarter, so we're off to a great start. So remember this: if we know what to say, the chance of doing something productive improves dramatically. Learn what to say so you can do what you're supposed to do. So what are the activities that a professional real estate person is involved in on a daily basis? Obviously, that's managing their time. It's having a production-based schedule, talking to their database, doing other types of prospecting, spending time doing lead follow-up, pre-qualifying potential buyers and sellers, and then, of course, making presentations. If we know what to say, we have the confidence to go out on the street, make the phone ring, talk to people, and make this business a much more delightful experience. Understand, of course, that the majority of all real estate people in North America are not doing any transactions at all, the vast majority. So for all of us that are involved in skills building programs, if we're just doing something, it's going to pay off for all of us in a big way. You're in the minority here by participating. Navigating the seller expectations. This one's great. The seller often thinks that we can sell their home before we show up and start to talk. But what happens when we get there? The minute we show up and start talking, everything changes, because maybe we get a little nervous, we get a little off center. Something about the house is not what we thought it was supposed to be. We talked to one party about the pre-qualifying, but we didn't talk to both parties, which is understandable. And one of them is not as excited as you thought they should be. One is very excited. There's some conflict. There are so many things that can take place when we actually walk into that home. But if we have the confidence of what we're going to say, and we have good solid scripts and good solid objection handlers for what they're saying to us, we're going to win a good portion of the time. We're not going to win every time. We can't get every contract signed. But as long as we're improving, as long as we're moving closer to getting a better percentage of contracts signed versus presentations, we're going to have a great 2024. And the last thought for today, and this is probably one of the tougher ones, very few agents want to admit that selling real estate is simply a numbers game. That's all it is now. Obviously, the quality of the people you talk to is important. The quality of what you say is very important. But if you're talking to one person a day about potentially selling their home, is that going to get you the number of listings you want to take during the last 3 quarters of this year? That's unlikely. So if you keep your numbers and you track your numbers and you're aware of the numbers, the odds of you succeeding go up dramatically. So let's take advantage of the new year, what's expected to be a great real estate market and a great start already to this year. Remember, treat your business like a business and take these skills seriously because they help you. What's our production? What do we got? Up a little bit, 27 listings in the Pacific Northwest. Let's see if the chart comes up. A couple of reasons the chart doesn't come up. The chart came up. Okay, cool. Anything new? What have we got?
Nothing new in the Portland office, but our agents are staying busy. I've been in contact with a lot of them about writing offers. It's getting pretty competitive out there, so please advise your buyers appropriately. Let them know what the pros and cons are about asking for concessions, talking about what terms they want. Some of our offers are getting rejected because there are stronger offers out there. So contact your managers if you need some advice or if you want to talk about specific offers, but continue working because we need more listings and we need more contracts in escrow.
Yep. Okay, so like I said, off to a good start. The first 3 months were off to a very good start. So we'll get there. We're 10 days in.
Mm-hmm.
How about Washington?
Well, yeah, I had a new listing and it went pending right away. So things are picking up also here in Washington. We have one listing that is active, I think, right now, and the rest are pending. There's 5 sales pending. I put one in, a buyer also in escrow last week. So we have Tyler, our new agent in Washington, just rolled into town and put one into escrow as well. So that was really great. He's working on his first deal with Century 21 North Star. He's experienced, but it's his first one with us. So congrats to him.
Yes, thank you.
And yeah, that's awesome. And then we have probably 2 that will close this month, on schedule this month to close. And we've had 2 closings so far this month, April. And in Longview, they have several. They have probably about 5, 6 listings there. Nothing since last week, I don't believe, but they have 3 pending deals, and I think one's closing. It's actually dual agency, limited dual agency. Our listing and different agent in the office sold it there. So that's closing, I believe, any day now. And for closings this month, they have 4 total. So
Excellent.
far, it's
Yeah.
going well.
It is going well. It is going well.
Nice.
Good. Let's see. So Idaho, I see Shelley, you're here. If you could share with us, or is that Mario? Okay, Augie got another listing on a 2-bedroom on a 0.94 acre. That's good. Jeff's contract on his Willis listing fell last Friday, but they lowered the price and he received an offer yesterday. Oh, excellent. And that's Willis. And of course, Caldwell has a number of listings here.
Yeah, Purple Sage. There's several. Yeah.
Yeah. That is nice. Madras, we just said, Naya says hello to everybody. She's working on an offer right now. And perhaps it's on this. $282,000 for
Very nice.
1490 square feet. Okay, so there's where the affordable houses are.
Yes.
Is that a new build? No.
No, they just updated it. Her sister updated it with Addius Group.
That's right. That's right. Okay, that's a nice looking house. All right. That's everything that's new. Washougal. I'm not sure I've seen this one. Oh, yes, I have. How could you forget that? That is for sale. $599.9.
Look at that.
You get all that. You get Grandpa's barn.
That is just the barn. The house is the white little one there. That's funny. Why
That
is it doing that?
Ah,
Oh,
It's not supposed to have that one. This person's funny. I didn't do that. It wasn't that way before.
is it on? It's not on the property.
It is on that,
Oh,
I mean,
oh, it's
that
not
is
the
the
property.
house.
That's the
That's,
picture.
okay. I thought brought up that way. Yeah, and definitely, it'll be closing on Monday.
nice.
Oh, really? Whose listing is it?
I think
Shauna?
that's hers.
Oh, it's yours.
Shauna's him.
Excellent. Wow. Were you
You
tempted
know, you go ahead.
all these garden beds and all of this? I know you like to garden.
Yeah, no, this property is, I mean, it's a really desirable property. The house is older and whatnot, but the property has springs on it. It's really cool. And garden beds. No hot tub, but it has garden beds.
Okay. Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. No, somebody's lucky. Someone's going to have fun with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. We've got the company and office events here. Superstar Retreat for Mike Ferry. That's coming up in July. April, May, June, July. And the Florida Experience in Orlando. The Realtors Conference in Boston. The Lunch and Learns are Thursday. Do you have a topic yet, Coom?
Not yet. Still working with Old Republic on getting one set up. We are definitely going to be having it as one of those hybrid classes. So you can either come join us at the office for lunch and learn about the topic, or you can stay at home and log into Zoom class.
Good. Okay.
But I'll let everyone know once we have a topic.
Good. Good. How was the branch tour Tuesday?
It was great. Great. We went to the east side yesterday. Saw houses in the Sunnyside area, Montevilla, and a little further out on the east side yesterday. Yeah, had a great group. Nick, Tyler, and I. Tyler just got his Oregon license, so he's joining our tours on Tuesdays. But everyone's welcome if you guys want to join us, have some fun, and take a look at the inventory. Tuesday at 11 a.m. Portland office.
It's a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. How's the market? You want to be the great agent that can explain the market. And here are here's some regional statistics for the different multiple listing services. And the 30-year fixed average is 6.82. And so the mortgage rates inched higher this week on the heels of some good economic news. That's the irony of all of this. The better the economy, the harder we Americans work, the higher our interest rates. That makes no sense to me. The current hike aside, that news also bodes poorly for the number and timing of the eagerly awaited rate cuts from the Federal Reserve this year. On March 29th, the latest personal consumption expenditures, if you're not familiar with that, that's the PCE, the Fed's favorite measure of inflation, were released. The February index increased by 2.8 year over year and 0.3 compared with January. The increases were in line with market expectations. So that means the economy is doing good. Then on Wednesday, the payroll company ADT reported that businesses added 184,000 workers in March, which was higher than anticipated. So Americans are getting so rich they can't afford to buy a house. It just makes no sense at all. But this is what we need to tell our people. We're the experts at 6.82. That's a stable number. And if you don't believe it, look at the chart. So if buying a house or selling a house is something that you're anticipating doing, now's the time to do it. And the chart will prove that. And I just talked about the rate of inflation. It's maintaining its rolling average at 3.2%, which is deemed too high to lower interest rates. The absorption rate, whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market, in the Portland Metro at 2.8 months of inventory indicates a seller's market at 2.8, although it is inching towards a balanced market, but far from what we call a buyer's market at over 6 months of inventory. So still favors sellers. So that's good to know. Okay, Could tell us about the NAR's jobs report, because it's going to be more good news that doesn't do us any good.
Right. Let's see what Lawrence Young from the NAR says.
Yeah, let me just pull it up. Have you got it up yet?
I do, on my screen. The
Okay, go
job
ahead.
market continues to exhibit solid strength with 303 net payroll jobs additions in March. That brings a total job creation to 5.8 million from the pre-COVID peak 4 years ago. The construction industry added 39,000 net new jobs, up by 600,000 from 4 years ago, not 400 years ago. Therefore, more housing supply is on the way in future months. More jobs means more potential housing demand in the future, but more jobs also mean that interest rate decline could stall as the Federal Reserve reevaluates inflation risk. This is what John was talking about. Wage growth was 4.1% in March after 2 straight years of above 5% gains. This decelerating wage growth can lessen consumer price inflation. Overall, mortgage rates are likely to remain unchanged, with no further measurable declines in upcoming months. High budget deficits will also hinder interest rates from falling as government borrowing crowds out mortgage fund availability. Even so, multiple offers on properties are still happening. Homeowners with record high housing wealth should understand the current and favorable environment for putting homes on the market. So like we said, it's still a good time to sell.
Everybody's working.
Right. You know, I wish, like we talked about, that means we could lower the interest rates for buyers, but alas, that's not what's going to happen anytime soon.
Right. Wage growth is outpacing inflation at 4.1%. Consumer price index, 3.2%. Unemployment rate, very low.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively zero. I think when it gets that low, it's effectively zero because everybody that wants a job has one when it gets down into 3 and 4%.
Yeah, the next chart's interesting. The out of labor workforce, or out of labor force. Essentially retired students, others not looking for a job.
There you go.
Yeah, they're still out there. But these are interesting charts. You know, it definitely, you can use these for your social media posts if you want to talk about the market, especially when it comes to the job market.
Yes, and so people are leaving Hawaii, leaving Louisiana. Interesting. Okay, yeah, look through that. Some very interesting stuff. Forward that link to your clients who are most interested in statistics, so that we can understand the numbers. And let's see, Kat, do you have a microphone?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us how the market is in Clark County?
I'd love to.
Thank you. How's the market?
So we are seeing increasing home prices as interest rates are expected to drop this year. Southwest Washington is currently a seller's market due to a shortage of inventory. Average days on the market is up to 77 days from 64, with 2.5 months of inventory. Median home prices have increased 2% over last year from $499,900 to $510,000. Interest rates are currently 6.82 and are expected to go down slightly over time. This is a great time to list while it is still favorable to sellers, and buyers also benefit from dropping prices.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice. A great time to list. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, people, you can take this and copy it and blog it, email it to somebody else. You could do that every week. Which is why we produce this. And now we have a graphic. I still don't have a, that's Cowlitz County. Shauna, did you send me a Cowlitz County graphic?
It was not just for Cowlitz County, it was for all of Washington. They didn't have any graphics that I could find just for Cowlitz County.
Okay. But because we found one for Canyon County. So there it is. So good market in Cowlitz County. All right, so that's the market. It's basically a seller's market. Interest rates are holding their own. Big things are not expected to happen. We're all waiting for some announcements that should lower interest rates from the Fed this year. It's still early. So there we are. Good time to sell. Seller's market. And the training schedule, it's just quickly a remind everybody, we have an Accelerate coming up. There's one going on April 8th. So the next one, if you're not in the April 8th, is May 6th to May 31st, the Accelerate program. Virtual Go List, got that starting April 30th. And the 10-day, 21-day challenge has passed, so I'll have to check and see what the next ones are. And this is a quick reference to the MoxieWorks training and social media right here that you can get to quickly. So I have a video. We found this video the other day. If it's here. No, that's not the video. Okay, well, I got the wrong link in there. All right. Then we won't do that. Okay, then let's go over business basics. And I've got the entire chart on the business basics system. The business basics is how to run your business, and business means making money. Is we have another parallel program, the North Star Professional Basics. Professional Basics is maintaining your license and maintaining your skills in actually doing transactional work. So that's like your lawyer hat is Professional Basics. Business Basics is making money, and this whole program is about making money. Is why you're here.
Why I'm here.
Why we're here. Okay. Shauna, let's you and I read these one after the other. Go right ahead.
Sure. At the beginning of the year, determine how many days you are going to work and subtract 10% to account for the days that you are sick or when you just flake out. It will take away the guilt that you feel.
Okay.
So I never thought of it that way, but yeah, it's John, you do that. You always make your yearly calendar.
I do. I buy those early and I post them on the wall in my home office. And then I start writing in when I don't want to work. If I want to, take weekends off or anything like that, you pretty much want to schedule those all ahead of time. And go ahead and do the exercise that out of 365 days, you're going to work probably 280 days. And plan that's your workload for the year is 280 days of work days.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't plan to take a vacation, you probably won't in most cases. So it's really important to plan up ahead of time. So, I have something planned Friday and Monday, and then I have another block of time that I scheduled myself off this year and around the Thanksgiving, Christmas time. So it's really important, but every other day I'm expecting myself to work. So,
Right. You know, it makes me think about, like we said, we have to embrace the fact that real estate and sales of any kind is a numbers game. And so the first number to start with is the 365 days, because that's all you've got. And how are you going to put it to use? And how are you going to play these numbers? So you've got 280 days. How many contacts can you make? Is 280 days times 5 contacts? That's a very high number. And that should equate to listings. So start playing your numbers game with that calendar, with those days you're going to work.
right. Your schedule should always be based on the goals you have set for the year, not anything else.
Not anything else. Like somebody else's schedule, like somebody who has different goals, different skills, different place in their career.
Right. Yeah, and that makes sense. Until you're retired, you should have goals. And you should base your schedule on that. It makes
Right.
complete sense to me.
Yeah. Well, like this, the next one, be careful not to create a schedule based upon someone else's production, because every schedule is designed individually.
Yeah, everybody has a different level of what they need and what their goals are. So some people are happy doing 2 or 3 deals a month, and other people need to try for 10 a
Mhm.
month.
Right. Right. What's next?
Having a precise schedule can solve almost every production problem you have, provided you follow it.
Provided you follow it. Have you seen some example schedules? They get
Yeah.
kind of intense.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you don't, but if you don't write it down and have it on a schedule, it's just not gonna get done because it doesn't seem as real. And I used to fight with my coach all the time about that because I would be like, why do I need to do this? Because I'm just gonna change everything anyway. Because the life of a realtor. And we're different, because he wasn't specific to real estate, the coach that I had.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you know what? If if it's not written down, it's like poof, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't
So it doesn't exist unless you write it down. So he's like, you can change it once it's written down, but if you don't write it down, it will never get done. So I feel like he was probably right about that.
kind of like a diet. I mean, you can cheat on the diet, but at least you know what you've done and how far you went off and how you can get back on it. But if you don't have it in place at all, if you don't have a schedule at all, then you're kind of lost every day. Every morning you're kind of lost, and you have to kind of wait for some inspiration to inspire you what to do today. I mean, you've got some busy work to do. You've got some transactions to follow up on. But it's very hard to get motivated and say, well, I need to make my contacts. I need to talk to 5 people today. But if it's the first thing on your desk in your home office, if the first task is making those contacts, or at least you've got it scheduled for a particular time, then there's none of that thought where I have to get motivated. I have to think about what to do. I have to create the day. It's already done.
Yep.
Already done. Yeah.
Yep. I put a big note up on mine that says, make your calls. You have to make your calls. No excuses. Just do it. Just make your calls. And it just kind of pushes it in front of me every day that I need to do that.
Yeah.
It's not what I want to do, but it's what I have to do.
Right.
Some days I want to, some days I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Precise schedule solves every production problem. Treat your business as it were a real job, which makes your schedule easier to follow. I say that at every meeting. Treat your business like a business, because that's exactly what it is. You're a sole proprietor, and If you don't treat it that way, you won't make progress.
Yep, if you limit the amount of time you work, you force yourself to be effective in the time that you do work. If you limit the amount of time you work, you force yourself to be effective in the time that you do work. So, yeah, instead of saying, I've got to do this, and then you're doing this at half the time, and then you change what you're doing and do, I mean, it's like the squirrel thing, and you're changing around. You're not going to do anything as well as you will if you just, put your phone, away, while you're doing your, follow-up emails, put your computer or turn your computer off and all your social media off when you're making your calls for the day. Just focus in on the one thing, because nobody, as good as you might think you are, nobody is good at multitasking. It's just proven. You're not going to do a good job at anything if you don't put 100% into it.
That makes me think about, of course, everybody here and everybody in our company has, even if they're sole proprietors today, they've all worked for wages from somebody else. And that's where this comes into play. If you're sitting in the office at a desk and the boss is there, you have to focus. You have to focus very closely, because you have to, whatever you're doing has to be done by 5 o'clock or else. So you have to enforce that with yourself. You have to enforce that discipline to do a task and get it done in a reasonable amount of time, because it is so easy to put things off when you're self-employed. It is extremely easy. It's too easy. And
Yeah.
and it has a cumulative effect. You don't even realize how unproductive you can be.
So true. It's easy to do if you're not staying to the schedule. A schedule is so critical for anybody who's trying to work for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Effective. Do the most productive thing possible for 30 minutes of every hour. Yeah, so that's a little concentration trick, it sounds like. Is to do what's working for at least half of the time. Do something that's working very well.
Right. Like picking up the phone and dialing the phone number.
Yeah. But
Or
yeah,
walking, out and talking to people. If you don't like making phone calls, make sure you're in front of people somehow.
Get involved in your community. There's so many different nonprofits and different things that you can do. And while you're there, tell them what you do.
right.
Yep, absolutely.
That's right. Let's see. What's next?
Keep track of your time hour by hour for 2 weeks to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your time management systems. Send a copy to your coach. So when you were talking about the diet thing, like it's like a calorie counter. You got to track what you're doing. If you are not, making those calls every day, you're definitely not going to make the numbers. So keep track of it. It's something that is hard to remember to do, but if you're not doing the numbers, I mean, okay, so how many, you look at a whole week, how many leads did you get this week? Well, I only got 1. How many calls did you make? That kind of thing. Or if I got 0, well, how many calls did you make? It's really going to show if you're tracking your numbers. Otherwise, you don't know. And it's if you're not thinking about it, people ask you, you're not gonna be able to answer. Somebody who can answer that is definitely tracking their time and writing an hour by hour schedule.
Yeah. It's a wonderful exercise for anybody to do, every once in a while, every year or so, because I've done it several times, and it's very revealing.
It is. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm wasting a lot of time here. So definitely is a good strategy to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Something that should take 5 minutes can take an hour and a half because of all the various things that can happen. Yeah, just yesterday, I had to put together a presentation and then compile it in a PDF. And the PDF subscription was expired and it had to download. And so a 5-minute task took an hour and 15 minutes. It's just amazing.
Yep. That's why you have to put in that 10% of time wasted, I guess.
Right. I'm with- Yeah. Okay, your daily schedule should be kept in a place where it'll be seen by many people. Accountability is critical, posted in several places. Yes, your family at the very least needs to know what you're doing and when you can be contacted and when you should be left alone and where you'll be.
Yeah, Google makes this pretty easy. You can do a Google Calendar so everybody that you invite to it can see what you're doing.
Right.
All sorts of cool tricks you can use it for. Tasks. You can assign it to people. There's a lot of things you can do in there.
Right. What's this? Oh, read this one. This one's good.
Not having strong personal goals and objectives will always cause a time management problem. Oh, is that the one you wanted, or is it?
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have that, you don't know what to do. So you do nothing. You do nothing but have coffee and wait to be inspired. And it'll happen, but it might be 2 hours from now. It might be the afternoon. It might be the next day that you're inspired to do something.
Yeah.
Be reminded. Need to be reminded of your goals. And of course, your schedule is a working document, so be flexible. Imagine that I'm sitting with you personally and watching you work. You don't have to imagine me. And actually, Mike Ferry wrote this. So imagine Mike Ferry is over your shoulder watching you work. What's he going to say?
Right.
He's going to say you're not talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not talking to people. You're doing busy work and you're spending too much time at it.
Look carefully for what doesn't work in your schedule. Talk to your coach about it and change it. So yeah, that's a really good one. You have to be able to critique yourself. What did you do that worked? What did you do that didn't work? What can you give to somebody else to do? That kind of thing, for sure.
Right.
Let's see. Following your schedule is simply developing a habit, like any habit you have. The more often you do it, the easier it becomes. And remember, it takes time to create a habit. What is that? 3 weeks, 90 days, something like that. There's all kinds of theories.
21 days.
21 days. Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that is the first few days of a new habit is a lot harder. It gets easier. The older you get, the more you know that is true. It's hard to change old habits. Changing old habits is probably harder than developing new habits sometimes. So, but if you put those goals in front of you, think about what those habits are, just do it. And then after a while, it just becomes natural. Ask anybody out there that's highly successful. They, started with making it happen just by doing it. And then now their day doesn't seem right unless they do the things that they're supposed to do. Those people that are doing those, 150 deals a year, what is their schedule like? They get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, they do their workout, they, get ready, they go to the office, they make their calls, they do exactly what they are supposed to do for their schedule. And they go on vacation and they have time off. So they schedule it all.
They schedule it all.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I remember when I was listening to Greg Harrelson talk about one of the agents that he had spotlighted, and he said, "You go on more vacations than anybody I know." And I think he was 3 years in the business. So he developed that habit right away of making those calls. He worked really hard for his first 2 years and he's already making his goals.
Nice. Let's see. The more clear you are as to what you want to accomplish, the more sense your schedule will make to you, and the easier it will be to follow. And be prepared to review your goals or revise them, and more importantly, edit your schedule every quarter. I think the point was here, you can edit your schedule anytime you want to change it, as long as you have something to fall back on. But it's a working document. It's something that should change as you learn things.
Well, because the work industry changes, things change. You're gonna always have to make adjustments.
Right.
Mhm.
I like this. Remember that working 5 days a week is normal, but working 7 days a week is abnormal. Well, that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna depend upon that goal that you have. Is it gonna require you to work 5 days? Is it gonna require you to work 6 days or 7 days? Because sometimes, like the gentleman I was just talking about, in the beginning, he worked 7 days. He worked evenings. He worked all the time. And he told his family, I'm gonna be doing this for, some time to get this business going.
Right.
And then later on, we'll get more time together.
Right. Just because, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, but you got to have time to refresh, and you do. But on the other hand, yeah, that's very true. Some people don't realize actually to build something really amazing, you may have to sacrifice a year or two.
It's true, but what I'm thinking here is there are things you can build into your routine schedule to avoid that. So if you want to take Saturdays and Sundays off, or Sunday and Monday, make sure you've got your communications done, that you're not leaving anybody hanging
Right.
that's going to have questions on the weekend. Especially sellers whose homes are for sale.
Mhm.
They deserve weekly communication. And anybody who has an open transaction, make sure they're fully updated Friday, so that they won't have any questions till Monday.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why all the lenders have the Friday updates.
Sure.
Don't
Yeah.
bug me this weekend. Here's your Friday update.
Friday update.
Been communicated with.
All right. So if you have no idea what to do, here's some recommendations from the Mike Ferry people. Let's see. A is the morning routine from the time you get up until about 11:30. And I know what that's about, because they will tell you start prospecting at that time. You start connecting with people right away. The early afternoon routine from 12 until 3. And that is reviewing your emails and doing your paperwork and all of those professional tasks. And then presentation time from 3 until 7. So that's the time you actually have your appointments, in the afternoon and the early evening. And if you don't have any appointments, then get in the car and preview properties, or go knock on doors, or do something like that that's productive. So many things are productive that are actually easy to do. Walking around a neighborhood is I think, very productive. If you've got a handout, if you've got a door hanger or something, and in a nice summer when there's actually people out, so they can't escape because they're in their garage sweeping, they can't get away from you. So you can give them whatever you have in your hand and have a conversation with them.
Right.
So that's presentation time.
And they'll be
That's-
curious. Most of the time they're curious.
Yeah. And so here he does outline them. The morning time, he calls it money time. That's when you're prospecting. The most important time of your days between the time you get up and noon. There's nothing in your personal or business life that can't wait till noon. That's true for the most part. Your morning schedule should be untouchable, concrete, intense, and productive.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Don't bother me. The afternoon schedule should be set aside for lead follow-up, previewing property, pre-qualifying buyers and sellers, and going on appointments. If you have additional time, you can prospect. Since we can't let anything interrupt or delay a listing appointment, don't let anything interrupt your morning prospecting appointment. Prospecting is the core of the business that makes everything happen. That's where you work those numbers game. And then finally, create a perfect schedule for yourself. And here's an example based on a 5-day work week. Arrive at the office or your home office at 7:30. And I know some people do that. And first thing, you can check your message, check for sale by owners and expireds. Now that I really am a proponent of, because it just takes a minute. And if you remember that they come and go, that you may find that there's a new one popped up today, and very often you'll find that there's nothing there. It doesn't mean stop looking. It means just put that in the routine to spend just a couple of minutes to see if there's anything new there, and then call them or email them or plan that afternoon to go by that house. Since they're probably hiding from you, go by that house and put something on the door at the very least. So that you
Because there's not a lot of listings out there. We talked about this last Friday, right? There's just not a lot of listings. What if you find a house for a buyer that you've been trying to find a home for that just either expired or for sale by owner? Why aren't you looking at those? Definitely.
right. 8 o'clock to 8:30, call for appointments, get any more administrative done. 8:30 to 9, role play your scripts. And we do that in this company, 9 to 9:30 every day. We have online sessions with your managers where we will do these very things.
We already do it. Just show up.
All you have
Yeah, we need to practice. You guys show up.
We
Yeah.
provide all this for you.
Well, I need to practice. I'm going on a listing presentation today. I sure wish I would have practiced that.
Mm,
No matter how long you've been doing it.
Absolutely.
yeah. From 9 till noon, prospect. If you're out, call the office and check messages every hour on the hour. That's kind of obsolete. But prospecting is not. And you may be circle prospecting around a listing you have. You may be preparing for an open house and circle prospecting. You may be working with people on social media. That is entirely fine. You may be posting your video on social media. All of that is prospecting. And it should be done in a set time on your daily schedule. Go to lunch and relax, have a few beers. 12 to 1.
Well,
NA beers.
Then get back on
You
the
can also
phone.
do NA beers or lemonade, but yes.
Then now you're all relaxed to get back on the phone and sell a house.
But not too relaxed.
Yep.
So he's got from 1 to 3, return calls, do administrative work. 1:30 to 2, lead follow-up and pre-qualify any appointments. Lead follow-up is a critical thing that we forget, but you should always have
is.
a little bucket of leads that should be checked in with every day, especially these internet leads.
And you gotta keep going back, because the first time you talk to them, they may be like, no. I had the lady hang up on me the other day. She was like talking, and then she's like, oh, I got a phone call. And you could tell she just panicked. She just decided it's not time. But I'm gonna wait a few days and I'm gonna call her back.
Right.
Don't give up. Lead follow-up is where it's at.
Yep. All right, 2 to 2:30, more paperwork. 2:30 to 3, take a break, because 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., the afternoon and evening, is to prepare for appointments, to go on appointments, do listing appointments that you have. That's the time to do those, or do additional prospecting. Probably a good time to get out of the house. When you work in your home office, you really do, because I do, you really have to, first thing is get dressed. Get dressed as if you're going on a presentation. That's the first thing you do in the morning. Don't start working when you're in bed clothes. That's just
Don't wear your pajamas to bed or to work.
no,
Right.
that is the wrong thing to do. You're in
It's
the
a
wrong
mental thing. You're getting, gotta get ready.
mindset.
Yep.
And then in the afternoon, get out of the house, get in the car, go to the office, go say hi to your manager, whatever it is, but go preview houses, go look for business. Driving around always inspires me, and seeing the signs up and seeing for sale by owner, then you can pull over and you can knock on the door. At the very least, you could have a postcard and fill out the address and drop it in the mail. There are
Wash your car. Get your car washed.
wash your car.
Because you never know when you might have to go to somebody's house and they might judge you. They might
It
judge you
feels
if you
good
haven't.
to wash the car, to get dressed up, get in the car, go wash the car. You feel very professional. Oh. All really good stuff on time management. Time management is #1 in the program for a reason, because everything is built off of it. And once you have your schedule on how many days you're going to work, then you can go to work, and then you can put all your other goals into this daily schedule. All right, thank you. Excellent discussion. Thanks, Shauna. Thanks, everybody.
So,
And the weather is good. The market is good. Everything is good. Everything is in our favor right now. So let's get out and list properties. And have a
manage
great
our time.
manage your time. All right. Have a great week.
Enjoy the sun, everybody.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.